Prophecy, Psalm 69 verses 14 to 20 in fulfillment, Matthew 26 verses 36 to 45 Messiah's anguish of soul before crucifixion. The Bible, an intricate tapestry of prophecies and their fulfillment, offers profound insights into the life and mission of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. One such prophecy is found in Psalm 69 verses 14 to 20, where the psalmist poignantly expresses the anguish and distress of the Messiah's soul before his crucifixion. This prophetic passage finds its fulfillment in the New Testament, specifically in Matthew 26 verses 36 to 45, as Jesus endures overwhelming sorrow and torment in the Garden of Gethsemane. In this essay, we will explore the prophecy in Psalm 69 verses 14 to 20, examine its fulfillment in Matthew 26 verses 36 to 45, and reflect on the profound significance of the Messiah's anguish of soul before his crucifixion. Unveiling Psalm 69 verses 14 to 20 The Messiah's soul in agony. Psalm 69 is a poignant psalm of lament, often referred to as a messianic psalm due to its prophetic implications concerning the suffering and trials of the Messiah. In verses 14 to 20, the psalmist vividly portrays the anguish and sorrow of the Messiah's soul. He speaks of feeling abandoned, the reproach he endures, and the weight of overwhelming affliction. This prophetic passage foreshadows the coming of the Messiah, who would experience profound emotional and spiritual turmoil in the face of his impending crucifixion. The fulfillment in Matthew 26 verses 36 to 45 Agony in the Garden. The fulfillment of Psalm 69 verses 14 to 20 is powerfully revealed in the New Testament, specifically in Matthew 26 verses 36 to 45. In this crucial moment, Jesus and his disciples find themselves in the Garden of Gethsemane on the night of his betrayal. As Jesus approaches the pinnacle of his redemptive mission, he is overwhelmed with anguish and distress. He confides in his closest disciples, saying, "My soul is very sorrowful, even to death." And he implores them to keep watch with him. Jesus falls to the ground, praying fervently to the Father. "My Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will." The Messiah's soul is in profound agony, and he grapples with the immense weight of the world's sin and the impending separation from the Father. The profound significance of the Messiah's anguish of soul. The fulfillment of Psalm 69 verses 14 to 20 and Matthew 26 verses 36 to 45 carries profound theological implications and spiritual significance for believers and all of humanity. 1. The depth of God's love. The fulfillment reveals the depth of God's love for humanity. Jesus willingly embraces suffering and anguish out of love for humanity, demonstrating his sacrificial nature. 2. The humanity of Christ. The fulfillment underscores the humanity of Christ. He experiences genuine human emotions, demonstrating that he fully entered into the human experience. 3. The weight of redemption. The fulfillment highlights the immense weight of redemption. Jesus carries the burden of the world's sin and the impending separation from the Father to accomplish our salvation. 4. The example of surrender. The fulfillment offers an example of surrender and obedience to God's will. Jesus' prayer, "Not as I will, but as you will," models the path of submission to the Father's plan. 5. The fulfillment of prophecy. The fulfillment exemplifies the fulfillment of Old Testament prophecies. Psalm 69 verses 14 to 20 is a poignant example of how prophecy finds its completion in the person and mission of Jesus Christ. Conclusion. Psalm 69 verses 14 to 20 prophetically portrays the Messiah's anguish of soul before his crucifixion, and Matthew 26 verses 36 to 45 beautifully fulfills this prophecy, as Jesus endures overwhelming sorrow in the Garden of Gethsemane. The fulfillment magnifies the depth of God's love for humanity and the humanity of Christ, who fully entered into the human experience. It underscores the weight of redemption and Jesus' surrender to the Father's will. As we contemplate the fulfillment of this prophecy, may we find profound significance in understanding the magnitude of Jesus' sacrifice and his unyielding love for us. Let us respond with gratitude and devotion to the Messiah, who willingly endured the anguish of soul for our redemption. May the reality of the Messiah's anguish inspire us to surrender to God's will and to embrace his redemptive work in our lives. As we reflect on the Messiah's anguish of soul, May we find solace and hope in knowing that through Christ's sacrifice, we can find peace, forgiveness, and eternal life in communion with the Father.